I know we've been talking a little bit about flooding or some rain, but not necessarily flooding hitting the area, but hey, the fall weather is now returning.
And there's rain behind you in the 7-day, Ryan. So you're standing right now in front of Monday,
let me get out of the way.
There you go. Take one more step.
Keep going.
Right there.
I'm going to keep going.
Well,
there
these were the days I wanted to see. You didn't have to leave just yet, but just so we could see that. There's rain. Look at the whiplash on here. It is going to be 92 degrees inland, and we're looking at the inland microclimate on here, by the way, so the temperatures are always going to look a little bit more extreme. But you've got a hot day tomorrow, nothing but sunshine. Weekend's fine. Noticeably cooler, but fine. The rain gets here, back here. We're going to be looking at daytime highs in the mid-70s, and each one of these days has a chance of rain on it. Interesting pattern shift that is about to take place. We've got to start looking at the weather now in slightly different ways. In fact, we've got to start looking out into the Pacific. And when we do that, we're going to try and get some of the imagery on here that'll show us what's going on in the Gulf of Alaska. And if you look way up there, a place we haven't really looked all that often, way up at the top of the globe, it's starting to look real busy. That's where Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday's rain is coming from. This weird stuff that we had around here for the past few days, that came from down here. It was subtropical stuff that got pulled up from the south. It was relatively warm, it was humid, it had lightning, it was weird. The next system coming from up there is going to be classic fall. It's going to be cooler with it. That's why those temperatures look so much lower. And it does have some rain. So let's see what it looks like. If we bring it down to scale, we'll get the imagery on here, because you can see that leading edge in the clouds off the coast. Look way up here. Gulf of Alaska is up this way. You can already see the clouds are starting to show the leading edge of a front back here that wants to come through with rain. Let's put it into the futurecast. I'm going to let this play all the way until Monday and Tuesday. Here it comes. That is a cold front, and it's going to get down here as early as Monday. Some of the better rain appears perhaps to come through on Monday, and then on Tuesday you're going to see that. Now this is one of those classic signatures where you start to pull in some subtropical moisture so that this colder system coming down from the north isn't just cold and windy, it will have some rain to work with. The overriding characteristic of this is going to be that it's a colder system coming down from the north. But that line out there shows you this thing's going to be pulling in rain, at least enough that this will probably be more than just a sprinkle. This will probably be some of the most noticeable rain that we will have gotten so far this season. It's early enough now, we can start to get a little more specific on it. It's great to look at it on here in the virtual map and get the big picture view, but if you really need the specifics on here this far out, let's use the European model, put it in a monitor and slow it down. That's when the rain arrives, according to what would be the most reliable forecast model for a system like this for this time of year. That's Monday morning. Here comes the rain. Now, this could change from now till then, but this is the best information that we've got in the forecast models, and we're within a reasonable window of time here now that we should start thinking about this and start making some plans. That's going into Tuesday morning, and then a second wave will come through. Technically, these will be two separate systems because they'll be one right after the other. They're not blockbuster storms like Ryan was saying, but it's going to be the first noticeable widespread steady rain that we've had of this coming season. We're now officially in fall. This is a good-looking fall system, and it should be done by the time we get to about Thursday. Let's put some rainfall totals on it. What could it look like? And this will probably give you the best perspective because these numbers are not really huge. We're talking about maybe 0.3 of an inch of rain, maybe a little more than that in places. Let's not get hung up on those numbers yet at this point. I'm just using this now to give you a range of an idea so you can start thinking about this and start making any plans you might need to for what could be coming by the time we get into early next week. All right, let's go back to that 7-day forecast and sum it all up. Don't forget, of course, it's going to be hot tomorrow. So we'll go back to the inland microclimate. Sunny and 90s tomorrow. Weekend looks great. There's our rain. It'll clear up by Thursday. And just to show you what this looks like for the 7-day forecast for the Bay, it's a similar story. Those three terrariums all have rain in them. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And it'll be relatively warm in the Bay tomorrow, too. It'll be cooler, maybe not as drastic, but certainly cooler than what this last rainmaker was like.